When I first started to work in a nature kindergarten, it's a nursery school and I went there actually as a student. And from my own personal background, there's not a lot to do with nature and training. Typically it's a lot of filling boxes and meeting criteria and highlighting things that a teacher should look like or a practitioner should do aren't revolved around nature, which is really sad. And through becoming a student at Bolton, I developed a passion for working in a really different way, and that linked massively to my own childhood. And that's part of why I'm so passionate about it, because my weekends and my summers were spent at the caravan, out playing with friends, being a child and really celebrating being a child for as long as possible, and my family always encouraged that. So when I got to Bolton and started to work with Sue, she had that vision and she had that ethos for the children that were coming through the door. Even though they were there for a short space of time, that's what it was about. And suddenly that opened a really new door for me, that actually it's not about all of the things that are described as best practice to meet standards and criteria. It's about how children feel, them having time, them having space, and suddenly a new world was opened up. And so for me, the passion comes from there. That's where it all started. And the space that I'm lucky enough to work in really fosters that children are celebrated, that they're independent, that they have access to nature for as much of their time there as possible, and that actually the outside space is where the children should be, and the inside space we use it if we need to, which typically is really different to how traditional nursery schools work in England. And that's our standpoint. That's actually this is what children deserve. And much of what I had as a child that my family gave to me, I didn't get in school and I didn't get in education. And there are very few settings where children get that now. But to celebrate nature in a way that we do, and for children to learn through that medium, is more than you can ever get from a textbook or a book that states how teachers should be in best practice. And that's where my passion comes from.
I choose nature because when I grew up, I was born on a little island and we were outside every day. And my parents were really happy to be outside, and that reflects back to me. So I wanted to give children now the same opportunity as I had.
Bolton Outdoor Nursery School is the most amazing space, absolutely. We are right slap bang in the middle of an urban colliery town, surrounded by housing, and from the front it just looks like a long wall. You go through the door and that's when everybody's mindset changes. It's warm, it's welcoming, it is so welcoming that everybody comments on the relationships within the space. But then you come through the space, it's just like home. It has a lounge, a dining room, all of that. Then you come into the garden space and that's where the magic just extends. And we've worked really hard on developing the space just to show people that if you haven't got a wild space to go to, if you haven't got mounds of forest space and easy access places that you can get to, within walking distance, that you can actually still have access to nature and you can still embrace nature in a different way. So, you do plant a few trees and a few shrubs and you create your own spaces, height and low, but it can be done, and I think that's what we've done at Bolton. We've showed schools, because we are a school, we're not a childcare setting, we're not a private setting, we are a school and have lots of different rules that we need to be established within that school framework, that you can actually do something different. And I think that's what most people see when they come to Bolton. We've done it a little differently, but the results and the achievement that the children make are outstanding, and that's because they've been learning through and with nature, the seasons and the elements.